Hi everyone, so today we will be making a 4-cheese spinach dip inspired by the spinach dip that you can get at Kelsey's restaurant. The ingredients we'll be using are Parmesan cheese, cheddar cheese, Romano cheese, cream cheese, green onion, red pepper, frozen chopped spinach that I took out to thaw, garlic powder, and cayenne pepper. Let's get started. So the first thing I do, I get my food processor out and I'm going to combine the cream cheese, the garlic powder. So now I've got about 8 ounces of cream cheese, or 1 package, and 3/4 teaspoons of garlic powder. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of the grated Parmesan cheese. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of the Romano cheese. Now I've got my lid on there, so I'm going to give it a good old whirl until it's all mixed well together. Now that is well mixed, we're going to set that aside for a second and we're going to chop up our peppers and onion. So this recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of finely chopped red bell pepper. I usually use about 1/4 of a pepper, so we're going to chop that up. Now we've got that all chopped up, we're going to chop up our green onion. It calls for 1 whole green onion, so I'm going to chop this whole thing up, the white and the green. Now we've got those all chopped up, we're going to add them both into our cream cheese mixture. And then we're going to give it another quick little blend until it is just mixed in. Now that those are mixed in, we're going to add in our spinach. So the recipe calls for frozen spinach for this, so if I'm going to make it in the evening, I take the spinach out in the morning so that it will thaw and be ready for me to use when I am making the recipe. We're going to want to take it out of the package and wait for it to be able to break apart like this, and then I squeeze it dry over the sink like this. Make sure to wash your hands before you do this and after, because your hands will get quite spinachy. I don't need it to be completely dry, but I want it to be not soaked. You can use fresh spinach for this, but I've heard that you should cook it before you freeze it. We're just going to squeeze all this spinach dry here until it's not dripping as much. Now we're going to add our spinach to our food processor with the rest of the recipe, and then we're going to mix it on low until it's nice and well mixed. I like to mix it a little bit, and then I take the spatula and I scoop the sides of it so that everything gets back into the middle, and then I blend it a little bit more so it's nice and well mixed. So I've finished scraping the sides, and now we're going to give it another little blend to make sure everything is nice and mixed in there. So now that's all ready to go. I got my oven preheating to 400 degrees, and we're going to transfer it into an oven-safe dish and then top it off and get it ready to pop in the oven. So again, I'm using my nice little spatula here. I'm going to scoop out all of the dip in here into this red oven-safe dish here. Now we're going to top that off with about 1/4 cup of some grated cheddar cheese. We have some left over from taco night, so we're just going to grab some of that and sprinkle it on there. Make sure you wash your hands before you do this too. And then we top it again with a pinch of ground cayenne pepper. And then that's ready to go in the oven. So you're going to want to let that bake in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. I usually set my timer for about 17 minutes. And you can go and do whatever you want while you're waiting for that to bake. Don't forget to have a nice little pepper break. Hey, buddy. Once the dip is done baking, you're going to want to take it out of the oven and let it sit for a few minutes. While it's cooling down, you can prepare your dippers. So my family likes to use some baked nan rounds. So I've got some nan rounds that I've cut into wedges here. Put them on a tray with some parchment paper. I'm going to stick them in the oven while it's still warm and cooling down. And there we have our finished spinach dip. Nice and tasty.
That's right.